Hello, today I'm going to take you through my speed paint process for tiny tanks. This one here is 8mm scale, so perfect for games like Legion's Imperialis. Remember to hit that subscribe button and enable notifications to keep up to date with all my content. I sprayed this model black and then gave it a dusting with white from above. This results in a painted texture to work from, and our first paint is Contrast Briar Queen Chill. As with all armour panels, it's best to work in sections, following the panel lines to help guide your brush strokes. I gave the model a fairly thick coat of this paint as it's incredibly transparent, so make sure you load up that brush. If you find you've got too much paint on the model, you can always use your brush to wick up some of the excess paint. You can also use this first step to map out where you want the other colours to go, so for this I avoided the tracks and any obvious metallic areas. This blue is looking way too bright and happy for the grim dark, so we're going to tone it down with some contrast Ratling Grime. This part is very much a trust the process method, as you're going to be putting the paint on quite thickly, but then wash your brush and thin the still wet paint down while it's on the model. Once that paint is nice and runny, take your finger and either dab the armour panels or drag your finger from the top of the model down towards the bottom. Next we're going to weather the armour with Contrast Garagax Sewer and a sponge technique. For this I took a tiny bit of sponge and placed it into the end of a brush guard, but you can use a straw if you don't have one. Dip the tip of the sponge into the Garagax Sewer and then using a piece of kitchen roll, wipe most of it off. Using too much at this scale would be overbearing on the model. Gently dab the sponge onto the armour, thinking about if the vehicle was moving, which parts would be damaged the most. For example, around the tracks, on the underbelly, and most pronounced edges. Next, grab some Vallejo Model Air Chrome, and I use this as a base coat for all the metallic pieces that we left white in the previous steps. Be mindful of this paint as it has very good coverage, so you might want to use a slightly smaller brush to avoid overspill. Now we're going to tint that silver with Speedpaint Ruddy Fur. Picking Ruddy Fur means that we're working alongside the warm colours of the brown battle damage we've already placed down, and giving some focus to those smaller details on the tank. Next we'll take some Contrast Black Templar, and I use this for any hull-mounted sponsor weapons. If you're using this paint style on a bigger model, then I'd recommend breaking up the detail on the gun barrels and bodies with slightly different colours, but for this scale you can get away with an all-over coat of Black Templar. Once that's done, grab a pot of Contrast Black Legion and use this to paint the tank tracks. Make sure you take your time, as this is another paint that covers incredibly well, and you'll need to take care with reducing overspill as much as you can. All that's left to do on this model is the Searchlight. I started with Pro Acryll Bold Titanium White and used this as a base coat for the next colour, which was Contrast Iyanden Yellow. I chose this colour as it really stands out from the cold blue of the armour. And there you have it, a quick and effective way to paint small scale tanks. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and let me know in the comments what you'd like to see painted in the future. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more hobby content.